Hashtag no music, no intro. We are back. It is that time again. Prospect of the Week, Saints Block Party podcast, brought to you by Precious Works LLC. Adam, joined by my guy, my co-host, Ryan, aka Wolf, and this is a probably highly anticipated Prospect of the Week episode. If you are watching this on Patreon or on YouTube or listening to this, that means you're either a Patreon member or a YouTube member. So we appreciate you for all the support and being able to provide this exclusive content like our Prospect of the Week series. And it's time to talk about Jeremiyah Love, running back.
Yeah, buddy.
Notre Dame. So we, if you're new to this series, we try to break down a prospect every week. Typically it's voted by, the Patreons and our community of who they want us to talk about and watch and what have you. And we break them down and then we kind of rank those prospects in order in terms of our cloud. If we were the Saints, in terms of we had the choice in terms of the draft pick, in terms of like our cloud. So if you haven't watched our first episode for this series for this year, we started last week with Jordan Tyson, wide receiver from Arizona State. Now it's time to talk about Jeremiyah Love, running back Notre Dame, who is a very popular player that gets linked to the Saints. Feels like right now it's either Jeremiyah Love, it's either a right receiver or it's a defensive end. That is basically all the players that are mocked to the Saints at 8 at this point. I'll just start by saying, and we'll pull up the stats and what have you and all that. I'll just start by saying, before going into watching him, like I liked him as a player and had a positive opinion of him as a player. But I just want to say, because I watched, I think quite a few games of Jeremiyah Love, probably like more than I've done for other prospects, at least like 4 or 5. However good you think Jeremiyah Love is, like he's even better, bro. Like it, like that was my biggest takeaway when I was watching him. Like I was like, gee, like he's a extremely, extremely impressive player. I think earlier this week, Daniel Jeremiah Move the Sticks came out and basically said like, he might be one of the best players in the draft. And I was like, really? That was really before I start like diving in. And then like I started watching him, I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of get it.
So talented. That's what I came away after I finished. I was like, this dude is really talented, man. Like, and I must say, I think I shortchanged him, underrated him quite a bit. Just kind of good. I thought he was good. Like I liked him, but after watching him, I came away feeling like, okay, he got some special. I didn't think he was that special. Promise.
Thank you.
Prior to this, but after watching him, like, okay, he's special, man. Like he got some special talent, special athletic ability. Really good football player. Like he a dude, bro. Like I must say, like it's kind of a pleasant surprise. Like, oh, he's really a dude.
So here's very interesting. So one of the prospects of the week we did last year was Ashton Jeanty, running back from Boise State, who was also a popular player mocked to the Saints. And honestly, had he been on the board, he was going to heavily be in the conversation in terms of being the pick for the Saints. How do you compare Jeanty, like just in terms of just stacking them as running backs, Jeanty and Love as prospects? Because I've gotten into some debates with a friend of mine regarding how they are like as players and what have you. Before diving into the all 22, I gave the edge to Jeanty. I think
agreed. That's how I was.
After watching the all 22, to me it's flipped. I think Jeremiyah Love is they're different players, but a much better player in a vacuum than Jeanty was.
Exactly. I just think he's a better player, bro. Like I just came away, like I thought about it, and I'm trying not to let his Raiders season like shade me. I'm trying to like teleport myself back to my mind from last year.
Yes.
but even then, I'm like, Love is just a better, like, just overall, like, just more talented. Like, I don't know, man. It's like
he is, bro.
I think he's more talented, man. Like, I think if he came out last year, I think he would go ahead of Genty, bro. I think
so?
he would go. Yeah,
Wow.
I really do. I really do. And I was a Genty fan. Like,
we both
he was
were.
Genty fan. Like, but I think he would go ahead, bro. Like, he got some special to him, man.
Friend of the podcast, friend of the show, Mike Tillier came out and made the comparison for Love to Bijan Robinson of the Atlanta Falcons. And I think that's a little hyperbole.
Yeah.
But I will say, in terms of how they play and how they win, I do think I understand stylistically the comparison that Mike was making, because I think the thing that, for me, the biggest thing to me that was surprising watching as much Love as I have this past week is his lateral and short area agility is extremely impressive. Like, way more impressive than I ever thought it was before watching him. But there was a run in the Indiana game, and the college playoffs last year, and he had that 98-yard run against Indiana in that game, touchdown. But there's a play he makes in that game, and I wish I had cut it so I could share it, where he basically gets a first down, but it felt very much like a Bijan play, where the run starts off right, there's nothing there, and he makes this like crazy, insane cut to the left and converts this like very difficult, play to get a first down, got like 12, 13 yards on it. And it's just like, God damn.
Yeah.
So that, to me, his short area agility and lateral agility was super impressive. And also, just as someone coming in more kind of blank, his receiving ability and how Notre Dame lined him up, especially, I think the first game I watched, it was the Texas A&M game from 2024. And he spent like 50% of that game either lined up out wide or in the slot, and was like running like actual routes,
but not just, flaring out to the flats or check down. He's running routes. Like, he's running, curls and digs and all that stuff. Like, he's running actual routes, man. He looked like a wide receiver doing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, I was the same way. Like, my thing I questioned going into him, like, what was his, how creative was he inside the hole? Because you have to, as a running back in the NFL, you just don't have the space in the NFL. You don't have the gaping wide holes in the NFL. Like, you've got to be able to be creative inside of a phone booth. And that takes some lateral agility, that takes some patience and vision and all that stuff. And he showed it, bro. Like, he showed it going against which tape was it? Was it USC? He was killing USC. He was gaping USC. I don't know how good USC's run defense is, like, historically or whatever, but it looked terrible. He made it look awful. Like, I was like, God damn, he is just gaping USC. But even some games where, I think with the first game I watched, I think it was Texas A&M this year, 25.
Yep.
And they were playing them tough. They were playing a run game tough. But he was like, his ability to make a little bit out of nothing was impressive to me, and eventually get those explosive plays after. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a lot of times that's how the NFL is, bro. You just getting 3 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards. And that's okay. And then when eventually you bust one open, we see it with like Derrick Henry all the time. Like, it was like nothing. Then boom, he's just running for 80 yards out of nowhere. And those are the things he's going to have to do in the NFL. And I thought after watching him, like, okay, he could do that. Because at first I thought he was just more feast or famine as a running back. Just like,
which you could say potentially, if we go on just back to the Genty from last year, that you could argue was like, I guess, like a negative in his game, like in terms of how he ran, like very kind of feast or famine, running the ball.
Exactly. But I thought Love. I thought he showed just a little more creativity within the hole that I thought he would. Also, like you said, his pass catching ability, like he would force Kellen Moore to
Talk
open
about
it
it.
up, bro.
Talk about it.
He would force you. You would have to, like, no way if you took Jeremiah Love, you would keep him pigeonholed in like
Can't do it, bro.
just a basic little pass catching routes that he's been doing like with Estime and Devin Neal and all that shit. Like,
Can't do it, bro.
nah, bro, you got to have this dude. You got to, like, when against Miami, they were down like most of that game, so he didn't run the ball a lot. But he was in there. He was like lined up all over the place, running routes, stayed in for pass protection damn near the whole damn game because they were just throwing the ball a ton. And he could do it. He's a good pass protector. Like, maybe you can argue about consistency or whatever, but he like gets in there. He blocks. He's blocking defensive ends, he's blocking Bane, all kind of shit. Like, he getting it in there. But yeah, bro. Like, if you got to the Saints, bro, like Kellen got to open it up, bro. Like, go dust off one of them old Sean Payton books or something. I don't know.
So, and this is, we'll talk about all the avenues of Love in terms of like the pros and like how maybe it could go badly with the Saints. I'll give Kellen some credit, right? Before coming to the Saints, he did not utilize a lot of motion at all. Like,
Nope.
Just didn't use motion. And he comes to the Saints and completely does a 180 of that. And
one of the highest motion teams in the league this year.
in the league. So with Love, just to your point, you would hope that because if they were to add him and his ability as a pass catcher, and you have him out there out wide or in the slot, you have AK in the backfield next to Shough, you would hope that can force the defense to have to make a choice in the decision, right? Because I'm just like, his pass catching ability was like that, and his lateral ability was just revelations for me when I watched. I was like, God, like I like felt like Shaquille O'Neal. Like, I apologize, like I wasn't familiar with your game, right, Jeremiah. And it's just one of those things where I guess the worry, right? If we're just kind of speaking to the worries, is there's two worries. I guess there's two like avenues of thought of it. Is there's always the debate of drafting a running back too high, and that running backs are, they have the short, shelf lives, and you shouldn't be investing a first round pick, especially a top 10 pick, into like a running back. That then coupled with, you have at least right now, and it's the offseason, and hopefully the Saints will address it before the draft, but you have one of the worst interior offensive lines like in football. Even if you put Eric McCoy, let's say he comes back healthy and plays 16, 15 games, those left guard and right guard spots are not good. Like, they are bottom of the NFL bad, and we've seen it. The detractors, and I get it, because it's a legit concern. A team like the Raiders last year, they had an awful offensive line. Genty looked terrible. He had some games where he looked like the dude, but overall, very bad season with the Raiders as a rookie. Awful offensive line. Even looking at the Eagles this year, last year they had a great, healthy offensive line, the best offensive line in football. This year, that offensive line injured, and if they weren't injured, they still weren't playing up to the abilities that they had last year. Some of that was on Kevin Petula for just not calling good plays, but Saquon had a huge down year compared to last year. So
Huge.
The concern that's a legit concern, I don't want to like poo-poo it, is you draft a player like Jeremiah Love, and if the issues that the Saints have, and play calling in terms of like, I go back to that Bills game and Kellen calling great run plays against the Bills under center that exposed that bad run defense. So Kellen has it in him. So I'm not worried so much about the creativity in the run game, but for me, it's about, are the Saints going to put themselves in a position where they could get the best version of Jeremiah Love in terms of addressing the interior offensive line first and foremost. However they do that is yet to be seen.
It's crucial, bro. Like that running back is just a strange position where the player can be like all world talented, like just most talented player ever. But if you don't have the right ecosystem around them for running the ball, like it just won't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Which makes it frustrating. Because it's like, okay, you draft a running back 8 overall or top 3 or whatever, and it don't matter. Whereas like other players, you draft a all world talent defensive end or cornerback or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like they're going to be good at that, whatever they do. But with a running back, it's still dependent on what you have around them so much. Kind of similar to a quarterback in some ways, but you just got to go back to like as far as like draft value. You got to look at the draft as a whole and what's there. And like just the normal just fan, they just look at it as like, oh, it's top 8. Well, you should be able to do this. You should be able to do that. You just got to work with what you had. Like the draft is just, that's what's there. Like that's the talent you got. Like that's the talent levels. And in this draft, he will be one of the most talented players in this draft, period. Like he will be probably
easy, bro.
2 or 3 most talented players in the draft. So you just can't get yourself caught up in positional value and all that stuff. If you're a team that need talented players, you just need talented players, bro. The Saints need talented players, man, and you just can't get caught up in that. But there is a like a route where you take this talented player and it, at least early, it doesn't look like you're reaping the benefits of it because of the way the team is built.
He's Mel Kiper's number 1 player in the entire draft. Which, again, when I saw or heard that 2.5 weeks ago, listening to like first draft, I was like, "What?"
Mel on that crack again. Mel on that crack.
What? But then again, I watched like 4 or 5 games of him whooping. I was just like, "This motherfucker is super talented." Like I was legit blown away for how talented he is. And again, that's probably like on me. But I also like, I love this about this series, especially if, we watch players a little bit, on Saturday and what have you, but just going into a player with a semi-blank slate and having an impression of them not kind of sullied and what have you. And then you're just watching like organically, you're like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. Like that's how I felt when I was just watching. I was just like, all right. Like it was super impressive watching him.
His ability to like press the hole and then like hit the edge. Like there's a play against Miami from this year. He hits the edge. Bang doing his thing where he pushed the offensive tackle back and he waiting for the running back to hit the edge, and he sheds the block, and he got Jeremiyah Love dead on. Like Bang got him, but Love hit that, like, I don't know, it's just like his angular momentum or whatever he's able to use. Just leave Bang in the dust, bro. Bang just looking short and arms, bro. Little arms like a T-Rex.
Grab my strong hand. You describing it makes me think of next Friday when when Ice Cube was chasing Day and he gave him the
when big girl was chasing him and she was like, that's how it looked, bro. And he hit that edge and then he jumped over another player and stayed on the side, like he tiptoed the sideline. He didn't get the touchdown, but he tiptoed the sideline, almost got. I was like, man, this dude a fucking athlete, bro. God damn.
Our dude Jake said you gave me no credit for that USC 5 comp, but he's as good as Reggie was. I don't buy that.
No,
I don't buy it.
No, Jake, no.
Like, can we stop with that? Like, people don't understand how insane Reggie Bush was at USC in college.
I didn't watch a lick of college football back then, like none. Like I just avoided it all. I watched Reggie Bush. Like that was like, USC playing. Let me watch me some Reggie. That's just how like amazing Reggie was back then, bro. And ain't no knock on Love, but Reggie was just different, bro. Different.
I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up the stat sheet for Love. Give me 1 second, because it's been difficult for me to have a comp for him. But I think it hit me yesterday watching the playoffs. So again, we're talking about him. This is pre-combine. So all the measurements are unofficial. And then Wolf was able to put his PFF stats in this graphic. But I'm gonna throw a Jeremiyah Love comp at you, and I'm gonna see how it sits with you. I was watching the games yesterday, and I was like, is Jeremiyah Love a Nordstrom version? Not Nordstrom Rack. A Nordstrom version of James Cook.
Oh.
Just watching the Bills game.
Yeah, watching the Bills yesterday, yeah.
And how Joe Brady, and now the caveat I'm going to throw out there, the Bills offensive line, very good. And especially like in run blocking, and Joe Brady has been. The one thing you want to give Joe Brady credit for is his influence with the run game with the Bills since he's become OC and replaced Ken Dorsey. And the Saints should potentially look at bringing David Edwards in as a free agent if they want to go like one big free agency move. Get David Edwards, who's a free agent from the Bills offensive line at left guard. That's a different conversation for another day. But I was watching James Cook and how he ran yesterday and just kind of thinking how James Cook runs in general. And I was like, man, is Jeremiyah Love like James Cook? But like maybe athletically a little better than James Cook actually is. And one thing, and Bills fans and Bills media are very heavy in how like, what's the one thing Joe Brady doesn't do is he doesn't really utilize James Cook in the passing game, even though like James Cook is a pretty decent pass catcher, but they usually put in like, Ray Davis or Ty Johnson in at running back, especially like in pass protection and things like that. But if I could tell you that if the Saints were drafting Jeremiyah Love and they were getting a better version of James Cook, like a better, like think of James Cook, but like James Cook plus, is that worth the 8th overall pick?
Yes, indeed. Like James Cook, one of the best running backs in the league, man. And if you're able to get a better version of that, with the caveat that yes, you also improve your offensive line and blah blah blah. Absolutely, you take that, bruh. Absolutely. This offense with a young quarterback that has like no real weaponry outside of like Chris Olave and Jawan Johnson, like
Bailey, baby. Don't forget Devon Bailey.
Like you would give teams opponents something they have to plan for. Like, okay, Jeremiyah Love, we got to stop him. We got to stop him in the pass game, in the run game. We got to do this, that. Got to watch out for this. Watch out for that. You give the Saints have nobody to talk about right now. Like Alvin Kamara, love Alvin Kamara,
nope.
But like teams are not spending their Tuesday meeting. Coaches aren't sitting there like just breaking down Alvin Kamara and how we going to stop Alvin Kamara. It's just those days are just gone. Jeremiyah Love would give you that type of player. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm just thinking of, because it's a very underrated part of Shough's game, and we saw it this year, Shough's ability to run the ball. And then you play off of that with Jeremiyah Love, like the read.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Like in the Miami game, I think it was like 9 plays where Jeremiyah Love is basically playing fullback for the running back. I mean, for the quarterback.
Yep.
Like, he is the lead blocker, and he's doing good at it. Like I was like, you are really a lead blocker.
And I noticed it didn't matter who the quarterback was, whether it was Riley Leonard, whether it was C.J. Carr. He goes in there because Notre Dame runs a lot of like quarterback powers and quarterback draws.
Yeah.
Love is hitting that hole, and he getting the linebacker out that bitch. He's like opening it up, and I'm just like, so then I'm thinking like, man, he could be doing that for Tyler Shough, or think about a play, the play that Kellen called against the Bucks that was basically like the quarterback kind of like sweep power that went to the left for the touchdown. You have Jeremiyah Love out there like the Saints offensively need players to put defenses in a quandary. Like,
yes.
And watching these playoffs games, scheme and all that, like that matters and it goes a long way. But you got to have talented players and
dogs.
They need talented players, and they just don't have that right now. They just don't have it.
Exactly. You know, something at a certain point with the playoff, especially when you watch with the playoffs, the scheme go out the window, bro. Like there was a moment in the Broncos Bills game last night where old boy was asking Tony Romo, like, hey, well, you know, what should Sean Payton dial up here? And Tony Romo was like, it's the fourth quarter. Like, Bo Nick's got to make something happen. Like, his scheme plays, like, oh, dial up this cool trick. No. Like, at that point, players got to go out there and win. Like, just go win and execute and, like, let their talent shine. And the Saints just don't have many players at, like, a talent level that could really force the issue like that. And Jeremiah Love,
bro. That's it. It's just Olave. That's it.
And with Jeremiah Love, you got a player who has legitimate breakaway speed, who can literally score from anywhere. And I think that's translatable. Like some players, some running backs you watch in college, you're like, okay, he's not making that run in the NFL. Like he's not, like them DBs gonna catch him and run him down so quick. But Jeremiah, I can't wait. I don't know if he's going to run the 40 or not, but I can't wait to see.
I'd be shocked.
I'd be shocked too. But I'm so curious to see what his 40 is.
What would you guess it is? Because I have a guess.
I would guess it's like a 4.4 something, like a 4, because he's like a long strider.
4.42, 4.43
yeah.
Sounds about.
But like his speed, man, like when he moving and he really moving. Oh, he moving, bro. Like you can see that speed is serious, but it's not like Reggie Bush type speed where it's like one cut 1,000,000 miles an hour, just like 0 to 60. But he's quick, but he's not like, you know, he's a big taller guy, so his like explosiveness is not like as sudden as a Reggie Bush or even Bijan Robinson. I think that's where Bijan Robinson separates.
Yes,
it's just a different tier because his like short area explosiveness is just like otherworldly. You know what I'm saying? Where I think Jeremiah Love for his size is really good, but it's not otherworldly like that.
Mark said, if you have convictions about taking a running back, okay, running back high as a team, look at the Lions and Gibbs. If they're that talented, then take him. But I hear that. But then the flip point of that is like the Lions had their offensive line already kind of made when they drafted Gibbs. And then they drafted Gibbs with like a bonus pick that they got. I forgot what trade that they got it from. But they had 2 first-round picks that year when they drafted Gibbs. It's just it's such an interesting like football argument in terms of just how to build the team. Chris said a more agile version of Darren McFadden. Yeah, but like Darren McFadden, I loved him as a prospect, but he had like elite straight line speed, but his lateral speed,
very straight line.
Like he didn't have a lot of lateral speed. Like Jeremiah has like lateral quickness that is super impressive. So if we're looking at these stats, right, he was a 34th running back in just terms of his carries, 1,372 yards, which was 11th in the country. What was that? 18 rushing touchdowns, which is 9th overall, and then 6.9 yards per carry. And then you look at fumbles, right? He only had 1 fumble.
That's crazy.
Like, so you have someone who is going to, you know, hopefully, and that's maybe translatable. Like he doesn't put the ball on the ground, and as a player.
And when you watch the way he gets tackled, it's amazing because it's like 10 guys tackling him every time. Like it's like everybody is just, and he's fighting for yards, and
black every tackle, Wolf, just black
every tackle, bro. And I'm always watching after he gets tackled, like what's his body language. After that, and he's popping up, bro. Popping up healthy. Let's go to the next play. A lot of guys you see, they on the ground, they hurting. Nah, bro, his helmet coming off constantly. He getting through the warrior, bro. Like I really like his playing attitude, his warrior attitude, the way he plays.
And
there's a lot to like.
The thing about him is, did I do that right? Yes. The thing about him is, you know, we talk about this like moniker, like the Saints, you know, being quote unquote like having like swell Saints. In terms of like an actual person, bruh, like if that's like the perception that the Saints don't really go for like roughish players or what have you, or dogs. Jeremiyah Love's Kellen's gonna love Jeremiyah Love when he meets him, bro. Like just like the personality version. Like he's just
is he really on the spectrum, or is that just like a
Oh yeah, they did a whole special on it on ESPN.
Wow. That's wild.
Kellen might be like, he just like me for real, bro.
That's my guy right there. Like
representation, baby.
Oh, that's perfect. And I don't mind a running back being a swell guy, bro. Like as far as my DNs and my DTs, I want goons. Yes. I want nasty goons. But my running backs and my pass catchers and stuff like that, you could be a swell guy. That's all good. You know what I'm saying? That's fine.
I feel like they do need a couple more goons on the offensive end, though, bro. Like Jake said, parents believe he is, but they stopped before diagnosis. Okay. That's weird that they did a whole fucking ESPN special on it, though. So if we looking at the game, so these are the games that we watched. Just for those who were,
I know you watched some like cut ups on YouTube, but I didn't have time to put all that on that.
The only one I watched that wasn't on here was Penn State, him against Penn State last year, which was interesting to see because he went, Abdul Carter was on the team and what have you. One thing that I think gets brought up as like a negative for him is his level of competition, that he performs well against like lower opponents and puts up great numbers against lower opponents. But as the defenses get harder and tougher, his production drops off, which I did watch a little of him in the national championship against Ohio State, but I was watching him and I was like, he didn't look the same. So I looked it up. He had like a partially torn MCL or ACL or something like that, and he had a knee brace on, and you could see it during he didn't even play much at all in the national championship. So I'm not holding that against him. But if you look at teams like Miami this year, who obviously has a ferocious defense, he had some good play against them, but they pretty much kept him bottled up the entire game.
But they were down so early in that game. Like they just weren't running the ball with him. Like let me see. Like if you see, 10 rushing attempts. So it's like they just didn't use him a ton in the running game because they were down, and it almost seemed like they wanted to pass the ball in that game. I was like, why are they throwing the ball? It was
weird.
So much?
It was weird.
It was really weird because they were down, but it wasn't down like drastically where you would go away from the run. But yeah, it was one of those games where you just didn't really get to see him flex his muscle. And look, Miami got a good defense, so it was one of them games where I would have thought the same thing going into it, like, he couldn't do it against Miami. That dude was on the field on the field like every snap versus
every
Miami,
snap,
like every offensive snap, and they just didn't run him. They didn't run the ball with him.
Someone he's just gonna be fascinating because when I think about the top 12, right? There aren't a lot, like just thinking of how running backs typically go and what have you. They aren't a lot of teams that make sense for Jeremiyah Love. Now, I'll give you a team, and I don't think they'll do that just because of how high they're picking. And kind of like they're in the similar situation to the Saints with the offensive line, even though I think their offensive line is actually like worse. Like you can make the argument that the nicest thing, or giving a quarterback an easy button, is just giving that quarterback a great running game. I kind of go back to the James Cook thing with the Bills. Josh Allen is fantastic. Like I've had my qualms about him in the past. I think he's a stud quarterback, but also like the running back he had playing with him this year ran for like the most yards in the league. Like he had the rushing leader on his team. So it doesn't really matter how good you are at the quarterback position. Just having a competent, great run game makes everything so much easier for the offense. And if you just want to think stylistically of how Jordan Love can fit in to this team, some of the best plays that Tyler Shough made this season were from play action pass. Even go back to when Rattler was a starter. Play action passes, under center, play action passes, over the middle. And if you want to like add like a piece to the puzzle that really puts the onus and pressure on the defense, giving that quarterback a running back that can have successful run plays, can break off a 20, 30-yard gain here and there. And then at the defense, you're thinking like, oh, the run's coming. I don't care what the stats say that play action works without a competent run game. I don't care, Wolf. I will never for the life of me buy it. I will not, bruh. I don't care what the stats say. I don't care what the analytics say. When you're running the ball successfully and it's working, those linebackers, when you do that play action, are going to come up much fucking harder than if you're not running successfully. Because you just don't respect it. Like, I don't. Yeah. Anyway, that's a different conversation for a different day. I could just see like the vision, boom, play action pass after they've run successfully with Love. He's gotten some good yards. Boom, over the middle to Olave. Boom, Juwan's down the field. That just opens up the passing game so much and can alleviate so much pressure from Tyler Shough to thinking that he doesn't have to like lift and raise the team every single time they touch the field on Sunday.
And I'm glad you pointed that out, that play action. I don't think I saw one snap with play action under center.
Come on, bro.
With Love. Like you get him under, with Tyler Shough under center and Love in that eye coming downhill with him reading the defense, and then, do I take it up the middle or do I take it to the left, run behind Kelvin Banks, who we've seen when you could get behind Kelvin Banks, you could do some good things, bro. Like he could pop something open. So that would make my mouth water, like just seeing him. Like if I'm Kellen Moore, like that would get me excited. Like, man, I'm gonna get him at the center, get Taylor Moore in the center, with Love 8 yards behind me, coming downhill, and he hit that, boom, bounce that thing outside. Like, boy, like that'd be some good music. And off that, you could play action, fake it, hit the deep ball to Chris Olave or
off that, you could just have Tyler do a quarterback keep. Like, bro,
it just opens up everything.
I'm telling you, bro.
Not only that, they did a lot of direct snaps to Jeremiah Love, so a lot of the things we did with Taysom with the direct snap stuff, you could do that with him. He has experience there. There's another point I was going to make. It's gone. He'll come back.
Jake said Love's ability to run in the shotgun game is huge for the passing game, too. If you can establish the run well in the gun, the passing game can stay open. Running in the gun is so hard. It is.
It is. It's very hard, man. It's very hard. And the point I was trying to make, I was going to be like Tyler Shough in that interview with Teron Armstead. He talked about like, man, we got to use AK in the passing game more. We got to get him. Like, he literally brought up the points we be making, like, use him, like, in the passing game, like, in passing routes and stuff, talking about AK. I'm like, but just the fact that Tyler brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about Tyler Shough is he's the type of quarterback that I think he's going to bring those stuff up to Kellen Moore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to – and Kellen Moore is the type that's open to hearing the input.
Listen.
Yeah, like,
what was the Kellen Moore word during the
collaboration?
Collaboration, bro. Collaboration.
And from everything I've heard, it seems like that's true. Like, even Tyler Shough said, like, they just be texting each other plays and stuff like that. Like, believe it or not, like, not every head coach is like that. Like, you got to go through the hierarchy. You got to talk to his assistant head coach first. Then he's talking directly to the head coach and the play caller about stuff that he likes. So I would have a little more confidence that Love would get used in the passing game. I think Kellen Moore would open it up a little more if they were to draft him. I just, it just remains to be seen, though.
It does. And there is a play, I'm trying to remember what game it was, where
I got to start taking notes, bro.
Yeah, me too, bro. But it was a play that he made, that Love made, where he just ran a real route that went for a touchdown. I'm trying to find it.
Was that against Texas A&M?
Yes.
Was it the one-hander? The one-handed catch?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Um, I want to show I want to be able to show it to. Okay, yeah, it was the one-hander. Okay, let's see if this is going to work. I just want to be able to show this to like our viewers, just in terms of, because we don't really care, because these episodes are for Patreons, and so like in terms of like monetization, like we don't really care about that. But these are the things that we're talking about. That if you draft a player like Jeremiah Love, like he will force you to utilize that skill. Because if not, like you're not utilizing him correct. So have it up. He's in the shotgun. I want to say this was last year. That was Riley Leonard, real route. Like, that's elite, bro.
One-handed, bro. Like, that's a playmaker, bro. Like, come on, man. Come on, man.
That is elite. I hope they show the replay of it, because it's a simple route, bro. It's a wheel route. It's a wheel route out the backfield. Boom. Yep. And no one from Texas A&M covers him. So that was from CJ Carr. So that was from this year. And look, that was a great concept, because you had like a man beater. It's kind of similar to the play that Sean Payton called in 06 against the Bears with Marcus Colston and Reggie Bush. He just brings a dynamicness. He would bring a dynamicness to this offense that it doesn't have. Now, on the flip side, you could argue, and I think it's a very realistic argument, that one, should a team where the Saints are be investing in a running back right now? And two, if the things that are not fixed offensively in terms of the offensive line, it could become a wasted draft pick in terms of like him not being able to his potential and what have you.
No, I think how they approach free agency will tell us. Will tell us a lot, because they could go and they could sign a running back. There's a ton of running backs in this free agency class. So say they go and pay, I don't know, Gainwell or who else out there?
Gainwell, Kenneth Walker, Tyler Algier. There's plenty.
Rashid Wright? Not Rashid Wright. Rashad White.
Yep.
I'd say they go and pay him, like, if they paid like somebody like that, like, you know, I don't know, $9-10 million a year, I don't think they drafted Love. Like, it's that. Now, if they go into this free agency and, you know, they go sign a guard or two and don't really address running back, maybe they might sign like a cheap running back or something, but nothing major, then to me that would signal that they're at least open to drafting Love or a running back in the draft. Yeah. And so you really got to wait and see like how this free agency plays out.
The difference in this running back draft class to last year's running back draft class, because last year, like, the argument was, okay, Genty, you know, the value isn't there for Genty. You can wait to round 2, get a Travion Henderson, get a Judkins, whoever.
Marion Hampton, just running backs everywhere, bro.
That is not the case in this draft class. That is not the case. Like, the gap between Love and like the running back 2 in this draft class is a huge. Massive. And you could argue like the running back 2 is his teammate.
His teammate. That's just how crazy it is. It's crazy. That's why you got to look at the actual draft before you just comment and just go with these. Oh, you shouldn't take a draft. You couldn't take a running back. It's top 10. Blah blah blah. You got to look at the class that you're actually in, like, because this is the supply that you have. Like, this is the supply of the products you have. So, like, the Saints need talent, man. I don't care what nobody say, bro. I don't care about are they at the point in their talent level where they should be focusing on running back? They are at the point where they just need talent. Like, I don't understand. They need it everywhere. Like we need, like, okay, I'm not saying if you got a stud defensive end edge rusher right there and he's graded just as about well as Jeremiah Love, I completely understand if you say, okay, I'm going to go get this edge rusher, because it's hard to find edge rushers.
Edge rusher, corner.
Like, we need that. Like, I could understand. I could completely understand or get with that. But if you get to a point where, okay, it's like, is Jeremiah Love or like the third best edge rusher, or like, Trying to think of another position. Him versus Caleb Downs would be very fascinating to me because there's two positions that you normally wouldn't take top 10 or whatever, but both to me are like the most talented players in the
draft. Oh, like just super clean, bro. Just clean players.
Clean players. So I wouldn't be upset with either one, but just that debate, it's like I don't know.
I'm saying this pre-watching Caleb Downs because we are going to watch Caleb Downs for obviously an episode, and thank God we have all 22 because that's the only reason really way you can, watch safeties and corners. Like I watched 2 games of Mansour yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's just watching defensive players, especially safeties and corners, is always a little difficult because you don't know what the call is defensively. Right. You don't know what the responsibilities is of the corner, who he's supposed to take, especially in zones. If they're not if they just running man, it's very easy. It's easy. If they're running cover 3, cover 4, quarters coverage, like it gets kind of difficult in terms of like who was responsible for what.
Exactly.
If you ask me right now, I would say I would go Caleb Downs just because in terms of in a vacuum, I think he's an overall better player than Love. But I would say that coming off of watching 5 or 6 games of Love this past week, I think that conversation is a little closer than I thought it would have been prior to watching him, like all 22 of him.
See me, I would go Love because of where the Saints are right now, which is you want to really get your quarterback.
I get it.
In a good spot. Like you want him to be successful. And I think Love would just give him that, okay, it doesn't have to be on me every week. You know what I'm saying? Just like we could have a game where Love just take over. Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's a game where Shough just ain't, the defense just ain't giving it to Shough. But you Love, he could take over a game for you. So like I think I would lean Love in that way, but honestly, I could be talked into the other way easily because like the defense needs a dog. Like, especially if they don't sign like bring back Alante, they're gonna need somebody that could play like that nickel star role or whatever. Oh man, that's gonna be a great debate if it happens.
It's a great one, and I think, and I get the Love point because watching these playoff games and watching football in general. Denver has a great defense. They forced, 4 turnovers against the Bills. They still got 27 points put on them yesterday. Yep. No, like as 30, as great 30 or 30 because I think they won 30 or 33. As great as that defense is, like if you have a dog at quarterback and they couldn't stop the run,
could stop it, bro.
Great defenses. I'll give you a perfect example. Seattle Seahawks just put it on the Niners yesterday. Just belt the ass. Like, we forget that, like, a couple of weeks ago, as great as that Seattle's defense is, bro, they gave up almost 600 yards to the Rams. Like, you gotta, like, in this league, right now, you gotta have dogs and weapons offensively to even be at the table. Like, that's my opinion. I don't care how great your defense is. We've seen it. We saw it against the Niners and Chiefs, especially that first Super Bowl. Not so much the second one, but that first Super Bowl, that Niners defense was fantastic, bro. It came the fourth quarter, last drive of the game. You got a quarterback like 15, put his cape on. All that great, like, elite defense shit, bro. Like, it goes out the window so fast. Like, I don't, like, think of, and I, like, it's funny because, like, Saints fans, like, there's some Saints fans that just want to build, like, this great defense. And I'm just, one, it's so hard to build a great defense. Like, it is insanely hard to build a great defense. And secondly, as Saints fans, like, how many times have we seen in the playoffs, like, bro, I was like, oh, Bo Nix scored too soon, bro. Like, I felt it was like Drew Brees happening all over again. Where it's like your offense goes out and does what it's supposed to do, and then your defense that's supposed to be great, no matter whatever, other offense just goes down and scores and ties the game or wins a game-winning touchdown. Like, it's hard, man.
It's hard because just inherently – defenses are reactionary, and they're always at a schematic disadvantage because offenses know what they're going to do. Like, they know what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? It was just like that play in the Denver Bills game, and Romo talked about it. Like, man, Like I would take a shot right here to the end zone towards the end of the game because the defense are focused on the guarding the sidelines. And that's what Sean Payton did. Dialed up a shot play, hit the touchdown to
Marvin Mims.
Jordan Humphrey? Marvin Mims, yeah. And boom. Just like that. Like so like it just doesn't. I'm not saying defenses don't matter. They obviously matter. Obviously they matter, but you got to have offense too, bro. Like you got to have offense, man. I don't care. You got to. Texas defense got the best defense in the world right now, but they might get clapped because their offense is. The offense is kind of.
We saw it earlier this season against the Bucks, bro. Like Baker Mayfield, before they started to sputter, that Texas defense was playing the Bucks tough all game, made great plays. Fourth quarter, Baker Mayfield drives them down the field and wins the game against the Texas defense. Like we've seen it time and time. Like I think people don't understand like the true days of like the Orange Crush Denver defense, the Legion of Boom defenses were like, and we've seen it in spurts where defenses can like shut down offenses, but like that level.
But those are like historical like level defenses. You know what I'm saying? Like
they don't exist anymore. Woof.
You just don't see them. Like you got a lot of good defenses, but like historical 13 points a game allowed type defenses, man. It's hard. It's hard to build that. Like those, that's like, just hitting magic out of somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
So let's as we kind of wrap up our Jeremiyah Love conversation, the thing that we've been doing since we started this series. I'll get on the screen. Boom, boom, boom. Got a juice meter. Juicy. Juice. Look, that full juice look like scissor, just not perfect. Anyway, so if I remember correctly, last week we said that Jordan Tyson was like a 7 for us on juice, right? We said 7?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna preface this by saying, in terms of prospects, in terms of offensive prospects, I want to say a 10 on our juice meter for this exercise going forward would be like a Todd Gurley, Patrick Mahomes, and whoever's been like your top level prospects since you started watching. If we're talking defense, let's say a 10 is like Patrick Willis, right? Just as an example. And then a 0, like it's a player we didn't want to touch. Let's say Shamar Stewart, because that was like recent. Like we didn't want to touch Shamar Stewart at all.
Period.
Where are you with Jeremiyah Love in terms of his juice meter?
Man, I'm about at like a 8.5 on 1 to 10. About an 8.5.
Yeah,
like right there.
Yeah,
like right there.
Yes.
Right there. Because like I said, like I wouldn't put him on like a level of Bijan, and I would put Bijan in like a 9.5. So about 8.5. That's where I'm at.
Jake said 10 receivers: Fitzgerald, Julio, AJ Green. Yes. Like when we do this exercise next year, if the Saints are picking like top 5, top 3, like Jeremiah Smith is going to be like a 10.
He's a 10,
right?
He's a 10.
Okay. Do you have to squint when you watch Jeremiyah Love?
No, not at all, man. Not at all. Just he's a pop off the field type player, Just good, talented player, bro. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's just some players are just good, talented. You don't have to squint. You don't have to like dig into like advanced statistics and none of that shit. Like, it's just you put them on. It's like, okay, this is a good ass running back, man.
Now I don't know where. So you said 8.5. I was thinking 8.5 for Jeremiyah Love too. Like right in there. No, this is gonna be interesting. I don't remember where we said last year for Ashton Genty.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like, where would you say, like, take away his Raider season? Where would you say his juice was?
Oh man, it's so hard to take away the Raider season though. Oh my god,
take it away.
I probably would have had him at like an 8.
Yep.
I probably would have had him at an 8.
Yeah, and I feel like Jeremiyah Love is like an 8.5, just because of. Now I feel like this is maybe a little weird to say. I feel like maybe Ashton Jeanty as a pure runner coming out of Boise State was a better runner of the ball than Jeremiyah Love. In terms of like a full prospect, like a overall running back prospect, I think that's where Jeremiyah Love hasn't beat, just in terms of what he does in the passing game, ability to run routes and things
that's
like
huge, bro. Like the passing game thing. The passing game thing is so huge because if we got in a situation in a game where we were down, I don't know, 21 points, Jeremiyah Love could still be on the field. You know what I'm saying? Just like we've seen with AK.
Yep.
Where somebody like Ashton Jeanty, it would be kind of split. You know what I'm saying? Like he had to come off the field some, come back on the field. You could just keep running them plays with Jeremiyah Love, bro. You could have a split sitting in the slot every play. You know what I'm saying? Or, offset in the backfield, pass protecting or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just like that's like a force multiplier or whatever you want to call it. Like that to me just makes him special and worth taking. Those are the type of running backs worth taking top 10 in my opinion because they don't come off the field. You could use them every offensive snap.
I'm going to ask you one more question because I was thinking about this earlier before we started talking about him. Been thinking about like the last couple of days. As just pure prospects. Jeremiyah Love, Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, that's interesting because I didn't like do a deep dive that year on Jonathan Taylor, but I think I might lean Jonathan Taylor just because he just seemed like so complete, man. Like just such a complete back. Such a complete back. So I might just lean Jonathan Taylor because he was a stud. But I don't remember doing like a deep dive on him back then as a prospect. But I just remember liking him a lot.
And the one knock Taylor had coming out, he's had in the NFL is like he fumbles a lot. He even did that at Wisconsin a lot.
It's true.
And one strength of Love is like he protects the ball. If just me, just as a pure prospect, I would have Jonathan Taylor a smidge higher than Jeremiyah Love, just a smidge higher. But I think it's a really interesting and close conversation because and if you're listening or watching this, like obviously the Saints connections, because I was thinking, because I was talking about this with my friend, is like, okay, back in, what was that, what was the Ruiz draft, 2020? Yeah,
2020.
Back then they were pretty set in terms of the draft board and how they felt. I think they were picking like in the late 20s. Like Jonathan Taylor was one of the number one players for the Saints, by the time that they were going to draft. And there was one lasting gift that Sean Payton gave the Saints and just bungled that pick and overrode everyone. And they drafted Ruiz instead because he couldn't stand Larry Warford. But I was just thinking, like, if they liked Taylor as a prospect that much, and again, this is a different coaching staff. You have Kellen Moore, but you still have Jeff Ireland and a lot of the same people within that scouting room. Is if they love Jonathan Taylor that much that they were going to draft him late first round. I was just thinking it out of how would they view Jeremiyah Love as a player. And
you would love him, bro. And we know they don't give a shit about people saying, positional value. They don't care about it. They traded a future first to move back up to get Mark Ingram after taking Cam Jordan. They don't care, bro. Like if Kellen Moore and the staff love, and I know Jordan Love is going to hit all the metrics. I know he's going to hit all the metrics. As far as like prototype stuff.
I think Love is going to pull a Jeanty from last year, bro.
I don't think he work out.
I don't think he does a single thing. Like Jeanty did work out at his pro day. Remember, like with his shirt off and things like that. Like, but I don't think he actually he did like a positional workout, but he didn't do any like athletic testing. And I don't think Jeremiyah Love is going to do any. He shouldn't. Like, he's one of the players where I'd say, bro, you put on my tape for the last 2 seasons. You talk to my agent, bro.
Like I'm a damn running back, bro. Like I'm a running back. Well, just watch the tape. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a corner or nothing like that. I'm a running back.
Yeah. So I just don't see him working out this this year. Jake brought up a good point and said that Notre Dame didn't even send over the testing numbers to Bruce Feldman over the summer for the freaks list. So Bruce Feldman, college guy, every season before the start of college football season, he does this, he does a freaks list where like the freakiest, athletic players in college. And he said there was an addendum at the bottom where Bruce said the staff didn't send over the things because he, meaning Love, was quote unquote injured. Because he was coming back from injury, by the way.
Yeah.
But like one of those players who were on the list this season before the start of the season was David Bailey. Like David Bailey is freaky. Like he is athletically freaky. But we'll have that converation for a
some Bailey,
for a different day.
I didn't even watch a ton of Bailey, bro. All I saw was when we was watching the Tyson tape,
Arizona State.
Yeah, and I saw, I'm like, God damn, who is this? He was just wrecking that offensive line. I was sold.
That's David Bailey, bro. But let's wrap this up. Finally, talking about our clouds. So I did not expect that before I watched Jeremiah Love. Did not,
bro, at all. I did not at all. I did not expect that.
I'm gonna say this. As we move forward, because we're going to talk about a lot of prospects, because it's a lot of time between now and April. It might be hard to knock Jeremiah Love from the top, bro. Like that is how, like Caleb. I could see Caleb Downs. I could see for me him being higher. We're not going to even watch Alvaro Reese. I'm not going to do it to myself. I'm not going to do that for us.
Nope.
But that's impressive. Like I was like, oh, I know Jordan Tyson gonna be above Jeremiah Love. Like, but you put on the tape, you watch the all 22. It just felt like maybe because he's a running back, he gets the ball more. I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
But I just felt like every time like he did something, like I came away like impressed more with Love than was with Tyson. And
I had more rocked up moments. I'm like,
yes,
rocked
for
up.
sure. And
had the bonus.
For me, and I didn't say this last week, but when I was watching Jordan Tyson, there's a part of me that did have to squint some. I know you said you didn't. I had to squint some games of like, yeah, like, okay, I kind of, like, I see it. And then there's some times where it's like, okay, I see it. But there's some times where I'm like, yeah, I kind of did not have to squint one iota with Jeremiah Love. Not one. Like, it was evident. It was clear. My eyes were like, oh, okay. All right. Yep. I get it. And that is something that would surprise us. I'm going to throw, as we wrap up, I'm going to throw this one at you. Okay. Just because I've heard this. Obviously, a lot of buzz that, the Chiefs could draft Jeremiah Love, and it would make a lot of sense. There's a current playoff team who plays tonight that is infatuated with Jeremiah Love as a player. Infatuated.
Ooh.
Well, actually, there's two. There's two teams. Well, both of them, I will say, actually. The Rams and the Bears both absolutely love Jeremiah Love. If one of those teams calls up Mickey, Ryan Poles, Les Snead, calls up Mickey and says, hey, we want to come up for Jeremiah Love. Let's say even the Rams are offering you the Falcons pick. So maybe you don't have to drop down that far. You don't got to drop to like the 20s. You just got to drop to like 13.
Oh, okay.
What you doing, Wolf? Now, it's different for the Bears because they'd have to give up you dropping down to like late 20s.
Yeah.
That's probably, what if I could say that you getting the Bears pick this year and then a 2027 Bears pick next year to move down for Jeremiah Love?
First? 2027 first? Boy, that make me think, but I probably still say no. Ooh, but I would love another first next year.
Next
in that draft?
In
that class?
I don't know, Wolf.
Man. Boy, that's a far drop, though. Boy, that's a far drop. From 8?
Far drop, bro.
I might need more than that, bro. I'm going to need more than that first next year.
Yeah.
I'm going to need more. But now if the Rams offer me what pick is that? 12, 13,
12,
whatever.
12. Yeah.
I think I'd take that. I think I'd take that, and go get, I don't know, somebody. Fuck, Lemon, or maybe Tyson's still there, or I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm going back and forth on it as I think about it, because I really like Love. I really like Love.
I think, man, part of me as a GM is like, do I really want to give the Rams or the Bears Jeremiyah Love?
That's the thing. Like, that's the thing that disgusts me. Like, you give Love to the Rams,
to Sean McVay or Ben Johnson? Like, do I want that? Like, how does that help? Like that? I think like you and I get it, picks and whatever, but I think like competitively, I'm like, that's gonna make it harder for us then. Like, I don't. It's a fascinating conversation. Fascinating conversation.
Man, I don't know. Now that I think about it, I don't know.
Ben Johnson would get slutty with Jeremiyah Love, bro.
Oh, hell no, bro. Like,
slutty, bro.
Hell no. No way.
They already done built their O-line and it's become like a tough run team, bro.
You just helping everybody. You helping the rest of the NFC, bro. No.
Anyway.
No way.
Fascinating debate. One of our love talking about Jeremiyah Love as a player. He's just such a fun, exciting player to talk about. Would be 100% on board with him if he was to pick at 8. Like even if the offensive line interior is still like meh, like I think just the talent is so hard to
and think long term. Okay, if the offensive line not great this coming year, you still got him under contract for the next 5 years. You know what I'm saying? You building long term, so you just got to think bigger than just this year. How it's going to affect this year.
Man, that Genty season in Vegas though, oof, bro, anyway.
But that was extraordinarily bad, bro. Like it was bad. And it was so much more than just him and offensive line.
It was Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly, Pete Carroll got his son running the offense. Like, it's just a mess. Just a mess.
A mess.
Like Kelly, I have faith Kelly would figure it out at some point. Yes. Maybe not early, but he would figure it out and get it rolling.
Yes. Anyway, we appreciate everyone who has tuned in, will tune in for this episode. Again, thank y'all for being Patreons or YouTube members. It means a lot to us, and we appreciate all the support. Next week, the poll's already up. I went defense. I'm going to break it up a little bit. So I put 3 options for defense. I put Delane, Peter Woods, and Folk from Auburn as the players.
Watch no Folk, bro.
Hold on. Let me tell you who's winning right now. As of right now, Delane, cornerback from LSU, is winning by 46%, but Peter Woods is right behind him at 43%.
I actually want to watch Peter Woods, honestly. I just want to get a good. I talk about him a lot. I just want to get you just never know. Might watch him and be like, oh,
we might have the same exact thought. Like Jeremiyah Love was like, oh shit, like this nigga is like a good ass defensive tackle. Like I understand it. So we'll get to that when we get to that. But we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll be back later this week. What is the theme of the episode going to be? Don't know. We'll figure it out. But we'll be back for our regular episode this upcoming week. Enjoy these last of these, divisional playoff games today on Sunday.
Yeah.
We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We will be back later this week. With that, we are out.
Peace.